everybody, my name is Kayla and we're going to be going through a mobility routine today that's focused on kind of relieving some of that pressure and some of that tension that you have in your neck, your traps, and your upper back. You will need a few pieces of equipment today. If you don't have all of them, that's okay. You can still do a majority of what we're doing today, but these are going to help you out. So a couple things to get prepared. I have 2 lacrosse balls. If you have 2 tennis balls or any other type, will work here. Tennis ball is going to be a little bit less pressure. Lacrosse ball is going to be a harder pressure point. So keep that in mind. And you will also need a sock. The easiest sock to do is a long sock, just so you can tie it off. So what you're going to be doing today is you're going to be placing both balls here into the sock, and then we're going to be tying it off. So go ahead and take time before you start the class. You can pause this, make sure that you have it, tie it off, and now I've basically made what's called a peanut, so we're going to use it as a massage tool today. Now at the very end, we're also going to be doing a few foam rolling exercises. If you don't have a foam roller, not a big deal. You guys can always skip that. Again, that's going to be at the end of this video. So we will be starting with the peanut here. We're going to work into some mobility exercises. Couple things to do before we get started today is please make sure to listen to your body, especially if you're working at home right now. We tend to be not, depending on what your desk situation is, you may be sitting in an uncomfortable position. If you have any injuries, any neck pain or anything like that, please just know your limits, modify when necessary, or skip over an exercise that doesn't feel comfortable for you. Same thing being, you want to feel mild discomfort for these stretches. We don't want to feel any white hot pain. So if you're feeling that, you could either be on a nerve or again, just kind of you want to move on from that section, okay? I'd like to start off really, really relaxing today, and then we will kind of work into some of those stretches. So that being said, we are going to start right away with this peanut. So another thing, if you don't have this, not a big deal. You need a yoga block here or a stack of books. That'll work as well. You don't need to get super specific here, but I'm going to be using my yoga block. So I've got that set down at the edge of my mat. Now what we're going to be thinking here is I want you to feel right here in the back of that neck. I want you to feel if you're tight there, okay? What we're going to be doing is lining that up on the lacrosse ball on that yoga block. So let me show you here. So I'm going to place those lacrosse balls down on the floor. I'm going to ease myself down onto the floor here, gently setting my head and my neck right on that lacrosse ball. So I'm nice and comfortable here. Now from here, I can choose to keep my legs bent, or I can relax them all the way on the floor. I want you to relax your hands, close your eyes. We're going to be sitting here for 2 minutes. It's a long time, but I want you to really work on relieving some of that tension. If this is new for you, you might not be able to handle a full 2 minutes, and that's okay. Think about nodding your head, yes, and when you're ready, nodding your head, no. You're going to work that neck. If you feel more tension on one side, stay there, and then switch to the other side when you're ready. I'm not talking for me here. Let's go ahead and start our 2 minutes. Make sure to breathe nice and easy. Now, as we hit 2 minutes here, if this feels really good, you're welcome to pause this video. But when you're ready, I want you to slowly come out of this position. So nice and gentle, ease your way up here, bringing it up nice and tall. Oh, that felt so nice. So I want you guys to sit up. You can cross those legs, palms up on those knees. I want you to pull those shoulders down and away from your ear. How does your neck feel right now? Does it feel a little bit looser? If you still need some time, again, pause that video. You can continue on with what we were doing. We're going to continue on with a few different stretches, and then we're going to actually be taking that peanut apart so that we can use the lacrosse ball or the tennis ball individually. So that being said, I want you, if you want to, you can keep your eyes closed. I want you to take your right ear and lean it down toward your right shoulder. Now, if you want to, you can add that right hand for a little bit of added pressure. And I want you to take a nice deep breath. Another deep breath when you're ready. And one more here. Good. We're going to look past our right shoulder down toward the floor. Again, 3 deep breaths. Good. Back to center here. Left ear down toward that left shoulder. Again, if you want to add some pressure, go for it. In through your nose, out through your mouth, filling those lungs. Good. We're going to look past that left shoulder down toward the floor here. And once you finish all 3 deep breaths, bring it back to center. You can see my cat here joining me. As we're up nice and tall, we're going to do 10 shoulder circles backwards and 10 shoulder circles forward. Now, you might be a little limited here, especially if you're super tight, but just do your best. So we're going to start backwards here. Nice little shoulder circles, taking it back. Again, focusing on my breathing. And 10 forward when you're ready. Good, relax. Go ahead and take that right hand down to the floor here. We're going to do a gentle reach with our left arm. Only go as far as you feel comfortable. Take a deep breath here. Good. We're going to gently switch to the other side, stretching out that lat and then oblique. Good. Let's do it one more time on each side. Big reach, deep breath. And over to the other side. Good. Bring it back up tall. Now from here, we're going to reach our hands behind us and pull those shoulders back. If you'd rather, you can also take those hands behind you, lean back, and open up that chest. So I'm going to be doing this version here because my arms are really sore today, but feel free to do either one. Give me 2 deep breaths here. Good. Walk it back to those knees when you're ready. Let's take those palms forward, pushing out on those palms. And reaching up to the ceiling. And relax. All right, so let's go ahead and grab that peanut that we created in the beginning of class here today. I'm going to untie that sock, so hopefully don't tie it too tight here. And I just need you to take out one of the balls. So it can be, again, if you have a tennis ball or lacrosse ball, just know, again, lacrosse ball or anything like that is going to be more of an intense feeling as we're kind of hitting that trigger point. So we're going to start off again in this seated position. What I want us to focus on here is, I'm sure most of you guys have been feeling this, whether you're feeling some neck tension or you're just feeling that you're kind of rounded forward. A lot of the times while we're sitting working at our desk, we are rounded forward. We really want to work on opening that posture and pulling those shoulders back, but you might feel kind of tight here. So we're actually going to roll out some of that tightness. Now, we're not going to get super deep into it today, but I want you to kind of just work the surface area here and see how that makes you feel. So we're going to be doing a whole minute on each side. Let's go over how some techniques to do this are. I want you to take that ball in your right palm. We're going to start on our left side of our chest. So we're thinking about kind of going from mid-chest to over to that shoulder. You can either find a pressure point and hold it if that feels good, or small circles rolling over that muscle. I feel this a lot right now, so if you're not sore there, you might not feel it as much, but it's still going to help you out. If you want more pressure, you're going to overlap those hands. Same thing, working tiny little circles for a whole minute. If your arms get tired, you're welcome to stop a little bit earlier than that. We'll take a little break, and then we'll switch it over to the other side. So again, feel free to close your eyes here, guys. Find that, again, you're trying to find either a tight spot, a knot, or if you're just sore, just rubbing that out, okay? So let's go ahead and begin with that left side. Rolling it here. Good. Go ahead and relax, guys. That was a minute there on our left side. Feel free to, again, you can do that little chest stretch. See how you feel after that 1 minute. Again, no worries if you weren't able to find a exact knot or a super sore spot. Or again, just trying to work a little bit of that tension. So we're going to go ahead and switch over to our other side now. So let's see how that side feels. So again, 1 minute, feel free to close your eyes, but make sure again to keep that nice posture and focus on your breathing that whole time. Let's go ahead and begin. Good. Go ahead and relax here, guys. You can set that ball down. Again, adding that chest stretch if you'd like. So, again, that was only a minute on each side. If you want to, if that felt really good, pause this video. Repeat for another 30 seconds to a minute on each side. Again, that's going to be breaking up some of that tension just so that you feel more comfortable pulling those shoulders back. Now, if you're feeling really tight in your upper back or your traps, we will get there in just a second. So just showing you a few things you can do during your workday to help relieve some of that tension. So over the next few exercises, you will need some kind of wall nearby, preferably a corner of a wall. I'll show you 2 different things you can do on that. And ladies or anybody that is watching that has long hair, make sure to put your hair up in a ponytail so you're not getting that caught in the ball. We're going to bring it against the wall here. Now, what I'd like you to picture is I want you to think about the right kind of near your shoulder blade, okay? I want you to find and reach back there and see if you feel a tight knot or anything already, maybe even up in your trap area. We're going to break it down just like we did with our chest. You're going to do one side for a minute and then the other side for a minute. So I'm going to start with my right side. Now you can do this standing or seated. I'll do it seated here just because that's where I've got the camera angle. So I'm going to take this ball and I'm going to place it right between my back and the wall. Now from here, find that position on the wall. So I found it right here. I'm on my trigger point. So I can choose to sit here and breathe through it, or I can do some nice and easy arm raises, working that shoulder blade through that tension. Again, you don't want to feel white hot pain here. So if you're on a nerve, make sure to roll around. You can also do small circles working at that tension. So find what works best for you. If you prefer standing so you can lean back into this, that's also okay. But let's go ahead and start. 1 minute on this side. We'll take a little rest and we'll switch to the other side. All right, guys, let's do this. All right, relax, guys. Now, it's up to you. You can stay in the exact same place and reach and grab that ball, or maybe you can just shift over depending if you're standing or seated. But I'm going to switch this over to my left side. So again, you may have found a trigger point on that right side. Again, no worries if you did not. We're going to switch it over to that left side. So it might take you a second to find that position. You probably noticed I moved that ball around a few times. So once you've found it, let's go ahead again, another minute. Again, focusing on that breathing. Feel free to close your eyes if you'd like. Let's go ahead and begin. Good, go ahead and relax here. You can take that lacrosse ball out for a second. Let's take a little break. While you're in this seated position or if you're up against the wall, let's go ahead and do some shoulder raises here. What I'd like, make sure you can have your arms fully on the wall. My core is nice and tight. I'm just sitting up nice and tall. I'm going to start with my elbows against the wall, and I want to try to keep the back of my hands against the wall as well. If this is too difficult for you, feel free. This is only going to last just a second. You don't have to do this, but let's see how those shoulders feel. So go ahead, guys. Trying to keep the back of your hands as well as your elbows against the wall. I want you to straighten those arms, reaching up overhead, and then right back down. Good. Focus again on that breathing. Let's just do 5 here. Good. If you feel like you're trying to get your hands off, try again. Only go as far as you can keep the back of your hands on the wall. I'm on my last one here. Whew. All right, my shoulders are definitely sore today. We're going to do another one with a lacrosse ball. This is where you need a corner of a wall. So if you need to move, feel free to. Now you can do this one seated or standing. I'm going to attempt to do it seated here for you guys and see if you can see it or not. If not, I will stand it up. So we're going to be working on your neck and trap region here. So on this next part, again, please gauge your comfort level. But again, I want you to think about you're getting right here, kind of right between that neck and that shoulder. So as you come up to the wall, I'm going to start with the right side of my body. I'm going to place that ball right on the part of the muscle that I want to work. Now, my head is going to be on one side of the wall, so make sure you're not uncomfortable here. So I'm going to gently have my right hand up against the wall. I'm going to lean forward, keeping my back nice and flat. I don't want to feel any discomfort in my low back. And then from here, whoop, dropped it here. From here, we're going to put that pressure into the wall. And again, you choose how much pressure you want. If you want a lot of pressure, we're really pressing into the wall here. We're going to breathe just like normal, small circles if you can, or holding that position is also fine. If you're standing, you're going to want to be in a lunge position, just so you can have that left leg out in front of the wall and again get that nice flat back. So let's go ahead and start with the right side, and then we'll switch over to our left side. Go ahead and begin when you're ready. Good. Go ahead and relax out of that. If you weren't a fan of the seated position, again, you can stand it up. Just make sure that you're in a lunge position, nice flat back, and leaning into that wall. I'm going to be switching sides, so I'm moving over to my left side. If you were struggling to find this one, sometimes this can be a tricky one. Again, we're trying to put that pressure in. You will know when you have found it. It's not going to be a super comfortable feeling. Typically, we're really tight here in those traps. So again, try to relax those shoulders, relax your neck the best as possible. So we're going to switch over to that left side. Again, get nice and comfortable, making sure no pain in that low back. All right, go ahead and relax there. If that wasn't comfortable, you can always just sit down for just a second. You can do a nice gentle neck stretch. Again, don't force anything here. We don't want to push ourselves past the point of that discomfort. We just want a light, gentle stretch. You can hold it for a few seconds on one side and then gently switch over to the other side. So as we're doing this, I want you to gauge how you're feeling. What did you feel the most? Was your chest super tight? Was your back tight? Was your neck tight? Maybe it's a combination of a little bit of everything. I know right now I'm a little bit sore and I hold a lot of tension up in my traps. So this is a constant effort. It's not going to be just this mobility class that's going to fix that. It's that constant effort of continuing to work on this. You think about if your work hours 8 hours, that's 8 hours of typically some tension that we're putting into our bodies, and then depending on what activities we're doing later in the day, if we're sitting on the couch, if we're not watching our posture, again, this is all going to start to play in part. So as we kind of finish today, I promised you guys I would have a couple foam roller exercises at the very end. This isn't going to be as much foam rolling as I typically do in mobility classes. We're just going to hit a couple movements that are, again, kind of going to help work on the areas that we've been focused on for today. So make sure you've got a little bit of space. Doesn't really matter what type of foam roller you have for this next one. I've just got a smaller foam roller here. We are going to be rolling out our lats to start, and let me just tell you, the lats are typically not very comfortable. Make sure you're definitely hitting the muscle and not going over your ribs or feeling any pain during this movement. So what I'd like you to do, we're going to take our foam roller down to our mats here, and we're going to be lying on our side with our arm extended. Now, when we're here, we're not directly on that rib cage or anything like that. We're going to kind of rotate out. I want you to think about your lats as the wings on your back. So we're trying to get this area here, okay? So I'm going to gently lean down on my right side, trying to get as comfortable as I can. So I'm kind of right underneath my armpit, but again, I'm not like this. I'm not leaning forward. I'm rotated back just a little bit. And again, you will know if you have found this one, extend that arm out. And you might not be able to roll back and forth too much on this one. You might have to kind of sit there. You can even support your head, but I want you to focus on breathing. So we're going to try to do this for a minute. If a minute is too much for you, cut it down 30 seconds, 40 seconds. That's completely fine. Let's go ahead and begin. All right, when you're ready, I'm sure you're ready to get out of this one. Go ahead and gently bring yourself up. You can flip over sides. I'm going to completely switch sides so you guys can continue to see me here, but you're welcome to just rotate over. But we're going to do our left side. So if this was your first time with this, again, this one can be pretty uncomfortable. So just listen to your body. Our lats can tend to be really tight, and it's a little bit difficult to roll out. So let's go ahead and switch over to our left side. Again, extending that arm. Closing your eyes if you'd like, and let's go ahead and begin. And gently relax. We're going to bring it up to our knees here. I want you to be at the edge of your mat. This is our last exercise for the day. We're going to be doing some child pose rollouts to get a nice stretch in our back, extending those arms. So on this one, again, knowing your limits, we're going to also focus on our breathing. So as we roll out, we're going to exhale, and we'll inhale as we come back up nice and tall, okay? So let me go ahead and show you guys what this is going to look like. I'm going to start the foam roller in by my knees. I've got my palms on top. My palms are facing in toward each other. My arms are straight. From here, I'm going to exhale, rolling, stretching those arms out, my sitting back in my heels, and I'm stretching, reaching those fingertips forward, feeling this down my back. So then I'm going to inhale up, nice and tall, and again, exhale, roll out here. So what I'd like you to do our little finisher here, we're going to do this for our last minute. And during that minute, feel free, if it feels really good on that stretch, to hold it a little bit longer. But again, just focusing on rolling out here. So let's go ahead and begin, guys, last minute, and let's start. Nicely done. As that minute is up here, find yourself back in the position that we started our class in today. Sitting up nice and tall. You can take those palms up or down on those knees, whatever you feel comfortable with. And I want you, again, to close your eyes, pull your shoulders down and away from your ears, open up that chest. And I want you to think about how you feel right now. Can you pull those shoulders back a little bit easier? How does your back feel? How does your neck feel? Give a little check here. Again, this was just 30 minutes of focusing on these areas to see if this can help you, especially if you're getting tension headaches, if you're feeling super tight. These are all exercises that can kind of assist you. And again, we use a little bit of equipment today. You don't have to use equipment. You can focus on some stretches, but it's nice to relieve some of that tension. Again, my name is Kayla, guys. This was mobility with a little bit more focus in our neck, traps, and upper back. I hope you guys enjoyed the class today. There's more to come as we continue work from home here. Have a great rest of your week, guys. And again, I'll see you next week for mobility.